We all bring different expertise, different program mandates, different program resources, and the families have the opportunity to interact with two agencies to meet the needs for their child and for themselves.
By going through the process as a parent, it gives me now a sense of knowing what the parent is going through. Because sometimes you feel you're alone. You feel that you don't have nobody there to support you and that nobody's on your side. Because when you're sitting at that meeting, sometimes all of these professionals are sitting on that side of the table and you're the only one sitting here, and they are telling you with all these big words what is wrong with your child. So I feel now that I'm working for the process, I like to be on the parent side and let him know that it's okay.
It's just learning about other people, sharing what you can do with what they can do, establishing your goals and working for the goals, not having hidden agendas, just working toward what is your vision here? Where is it that you need to go? Are we on the same page? Then this isn't difficult to do.
We've developed written collaborative agreements with all of the early Head Start and the child care programs on the Lower East Side. And what we ask them is what services do they want from us? And what can they do with us? Because we really are looking to move all of our children out of self-contained environments into more natural, typically operating child care centers.
To have an open mind, welcome new ideas and suggestions on how to alter your classroom, even how to introduce an activity. Have an ongoing communication with a therapist.
It wasn't just like a business type thing. They came in personally and actually listened to me. And I was able to vent a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions that was going on. My concerns with my kids were the #1 thing that was going on.
We do work as a team. We try our best to keep ourselves on track of the best interest of the child really comes first. So it's not my show versus somebody else's show.
We know that the early intervention people are there, that we can talk to them if we need to, or if we just need to run something by them. Hey, I saw this happening. What do you think? Did you ever see that? Maybe keep your eyes open. You know, the child started to do this, and I just didn't know if you ever noticed that, or that sort of thing. And I think that helps because then there's two people in there seeing it and two different opinions possibly, which is okay.
Our initial contact, if it's okay with the family, is in the context of a home visit, because that's where the child is the majority of their time. And then for the child that is in a daycare or another environment, and obviously now an early Head Start environment, seeing them in that environment is equally important, so that the program and the services complement the child's functioning in those settings.
Tristan's out of the program now, but I want to do what I can to give back. I feel like the Policy Council for me is going to help me become more confident, but just to share that with others, that your confidence is going to make a great deal of difference in how well your child succeeds in life in general. Having a confident parent standing up for your child is going to help them.
10 years ago, a friend of mine and I started a Spanish-speaking family support group, which is called El Grupo Vida. It's a group for families whose primary language is Spanish, and they have a family member who has a disability. What I've learned from my friend Maria, who's now the co-chair, I'm co-chair and Maria's the co-chair, I saw Maria become this very empowered parent. And it was kind of like she and I together started realizing that parent-to-parent support was kind of, it had like a rippling effect. You throw the stone out there in the little pond and you see these things. And Maria started supporting other families And those families have now started supporting other families. And so we don't call our group a family support group anymore. We call it a family network of support.
It works for families because they have then access to more supports if they need those supports. Because we're aware of it and we can make them aware of it, and they don't have to go and search for it on their own or accidentally find a service or hear about it a year from now. If we're working together, then again, early intervention and early Head Start sort of implies that we're there for families sooner rather than later.
The relationship now is, you know, when I call them and I just say, I'm Joy calling from Early Head Start, and I have a referral, give them the information. The relationship is a lot better, even though we have an interagency agreement, because of that working relationship, sitting down talking face to face, and I'm visiting their site, their clinic, to see what actually happened, and they're visiting our site. It really works out better.
We tend to schedule at least one visit a month with both Early Head Start and Early Intervention present. It makes a nice, easy way to make sure everyone's on the same page and everyone's doing what's necessary for that child, and that the parent has the same understanding that we have of what's going on and what services are being provided for the child.
It is a totally different developmental area to focus upon those first 3 years. And the children are developing so quickly, and they're moving through stages and acquiring skills so rapidly, and you really have to be aware of how each stage builds upon and prepares for the next. It's not the same as the 3 to 5 programming. They're establishing their whole developmental path in those early years.
You stand behind the environment that you provide, and that you look at all the players that will be involved in delivering services for that child. And then you make sure that they have all the information that they need, and you've developed the steps that go along. How to reassess, at what point will we reevaluate what we're doing, what are we doing to make sure and monitor that child's environment and that child's goals in that environment. And so ultimately, that's where you start.
Paperwork requirements for a family under Part C and Early Head Start are a little bit different. How can we as an agency minimize that, put it together as one package, one document, one family service plan, so that again the family doesn't perceive this as two sets of paperwork, two sets of services that are just working in isolation from each other, but that they see that there's really one service plan for their family.
We can serve them for 3 years, and then they have to go on. So I try to help them, but then show them. In other words, show them that there is help, things that they are eligible for, and the services.
In both agencies, we've got really dedicated people, and they really, really are committed and want the best for families. And I think everybody realizes there's only so much you can do for families. And so that whenever you really care about family outcomes, if you can help them achieve those outcomes with support from other agencies and other community services, then that's when you're doing your job best.
It's too easy to be afraid. It's too easy to raise objections. The best way to get into it is just take that first kid and just work out some of the details. Every agency has questions, has issues that they're going to have to resolve with their health advisory committee, with their staff, with their policy council, whatever. But if you never start, you never learn. Just jump in and do it.